Hi, I'm Peyton, and welcome to Peyton Through the Pages. Today, I'm going to be starting off with a classic. I'm going to be doing the booktube newbie tag. The tag was created by Brenda C. back in 2014, I believe. I know the video isn't online anymore, but obviously everyone does it. I found them on like the booktube wiki. I did not know that was a thing. But I found them there. I'm not going to be doing all of them because I feel like my answers will be a little bit repetitive. I chose a select few, and I'll put those down below. So the first question is, why did you start this channel? So I found booktube when I was 10 or 11, I think, and I was like, oh my god, I want to do this so badly. And I did make an attempt in high school. This was my attempt. It didn't really go well. I was trying to do a combo between like books and like theater and Broadway, and Broadway kind of ended up overtaking the booktube part of it, so that was a little unfortunate. But then also just like editing and everything, like the whole process, I only really had time to do it in the summer. I wasn't uploading a lot, so it kind of just like fell off as classes in high school got more rigorous, but I still really like kind of had this urge to do it. And then in 2020 I watched Ashley Outpaged's video, why booktube was bad for me as a reader, and I realized by watching that video that a lot of the books that I had currently had in my collection at that point were a lot that I hadn't read, but they were ones that I hadn't read because I had bought them just because the big booktubers were talking about them when I was in middle school or like at the start of high school. So it kind of re-sparked the interest, but particularly like me being like, oh, I don't need to stay relevant to the trends. I don't need to conform to anything, and I can just read to my own tastes. So in 2020 I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna start a channel. And then I started college. And that was a roller coaster. I'm still in college, I'm currently a junior, but I feel like I'm finally at a place 3 years later where I can confidently say that I can start this channel and not have it fall off like it did in high school and not be overwhelmed. So I'm really excited about that. So the second question is, what are some unique things that you can bring to booktube? And I honestly don't have an answer to this question right now. I know there are people who like read every genre I read. I guess that's something we can find out. I guess as time goes on, I'll find out. The third question is, what are you most excited for about this channel? And honestly, I'm just really excited to start making content. I have a whole bunch of ideas, obviously, because I've had like this reinvigoration for like making this channel since like 2020. So I have like 3 years worth of ideas. So I'm really excited to kind of just like jump in. I've always liked being creative and I've always loved reading, but I feel like combining them is something that I don't get to do very often. So I think it'll be a really exciting thing to explore. And I'm really just excited to make friends and find new reads. I feel like there's a ton of books that I find through booktube that I wouldn't find elsewhere. So that's really exciting. The fourth question is, why do you love reading? I feel like me, along with everyone else who does this video, the answer to this question is 1, escapism. But also, I feel like I always learn something no matter what I'm reading. I feel like I can always take something from a book. So yeah, I feel like I can always kind of use what I read to better myself. The fifth question is, what book or series got you into reading? And normally my answer for this would be Percy Jackson. But now that I think about it and I'm like reflecting on it, I feel like that's the book or series that got me into fandom culture more so than reading. I'm going to say that the books that got me into reading specifically are Magic Treehouse, Rainbow Magic, Cam Jansen, and the A to Z Mysteries. Those four were my four growing up. Also, this like biography series that my library had, I have no idea what the series is. I'll put it over here if I can find it. Yeah. So those four, and then that biography series. The sixth question is, what would you ask your favorite booktubers? I feel like I don't have any specific questions. I feel like questions that I would have, like time management related, or like how do you deal with booktube while in college, I feel like those are questions that like I just have to come to a solution myself. And that's more of like a personal thing. Like I don't know if skills that work for someone else would work for me necessarily. The next question is, what challenges about starting a booktube channel do you think will be the hardest to overcome? I am in college, that's the big one. I'm going into my senior year this fall, which means I will be writing my thesis, so I feel like I might not have enough time, or as much time as I do presently, to work on this channel and keep up with it, so I'm a little nervous about that. Also, I guess in the future, balancing big life changes, I feel like that will be something that I'll have to kind of work on, and might be hard to overcome, but we'll get through it. My goal is to get through it. Finally, the last question that I'm going to be answering today is, what kind of books do you like to read? So I tend to gravitate more towards historical fiction, literary fiction, and then YA contemporary. If I do read fantasy, most of it is middle grade. These are all classics. I want to read classics. Have I read most of these? No, we're working on it. But I will get there. So that concludes my booktube newbie tag. Thank you for watching. Feel free to leave a like or comment or subscribe if you feel compelled to. I'm really excited to see where this journey takes me. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Bye!